Heartwarming story. Girl's incredible plea for shelter reveals amazing life-changing surprise for her community. The sun hung low over Maple Grove, casting a golden glow on the quaint town as whispers of concern danced through the air. 12-year-old Lily stood outside the town hall, her heart racing like a hummingbird trapped in a cage. Today was different. Today, she would fight for her home, the modest farm that had been in her family for generations. What if I fail? She thought, but deep down, she knew that giving up was not an option. Lily glanced at the familiar faces in the crowd, neighbors she had known her whole life. Each one held memories woven into the fabric of her being. The old man who shared stories of the past, the baker who served warm cookies every Saturday, her best friend who always stood by her side. How could they let the developers take it all away? She took a deep breath, staring down at the weathered floorboards beneath her feet, and stepped up to the podium, her voice trembling but steady. I'm here to ask for your help. The audience leaned in, their hearts swelling with pride and sorrow. They knew Lily as the girl who never shied away from hard work, always tending to the animals and helping her family with the crops. Her brown curls bounced as she spoke, passion emanating from her very being. My family has poured our hearts into this farm, and now we're facing the darkest days. We're about to lose everything. As tears welled in her eyes, she looked across the room. There was a moment of silence, an invisible weight sharing the burden of hope and despair. Then, hands shot up in the air. We're with you, Lily, shouted Mr. Thompson, the town's war veteran. His declaration ignited a spark in the room. Veterans offered to organize a fundraiser, local businesses pledged donations, and one by one, the townsfolk stepped forward, determined to safeguard their collective identity. Just as they began to rally, a polished real estate developer strode into the room, his expensive suit a stark contrast to the worn flannel of Maple Grove. Progress, he declared, flashing money and enticing promises like candy. But the townspeople felt a chill, the warmth of community threatened by the cold reality of gentrification. Tension crackled in the air, Lily could feel it in her bones. Meanwhile, amidst the storm were hidden rifts in her own family, misunderstandings that seemed to surface alongside their economic troubles. In quiet moments, her dad's sighs grew heavy, and her mom's smile faded. Where once the kitchen had been filled with laughter, a heavy silence now lingered. Would this struggle tear them apart? With hope in her heart but fear in her throat, Lily recalled the memories tied to their land, the irreplaceable moments that reminded her of why they must fight. This is about more than just saving our farm, it's about bringing our family and community together, she urged, sensing a shift among the crowd. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the meeting roared back to life, emotions swirled like a storm. Residents reminisced about their sacrifices, the laughter shared during harvests, and the bonds forged under the wide Maple Grove sky. Determined, Lily called for a vote that would shape their future, a choice between a flashing facade of development or preserving their cherished home. As tension mounted, she held her breath, realizing the vote was a reflection of more than land. It was about love, family, and fighting for what truly mattered. In that pivotal moment, she whispered a vow to herself: no matter the outcome, she would stand firm, for herself, her family, and her beloved community. The weight of their future hung heavily in the air. Would they have the strength to challenge the allure of a bigger future, or would their dreams fade under the weight of progress? The room buzzed with energy as everyone held their breath, anticipating the results of their vote. A little uncertainty hung in the air like a dense fog, mixed with hope. Lily stood at the podium, her heart pounding as if it were racing to keep up with the emotions swirling around her. The members of her community shifted in their seats, eyes darting from one person to another, waiting for the announcement. Those in favor of preserving the farm and fighting against the development, please raise your hands. The mayor's voice echoed through the hall. Lily watched, her breath caught in her throat. In that moment, the weight of years and memories pressed down on her. Hands began to rise, one after the other, a wave of determination washing over her, but then, like a gust of wind, doubts clouded her heart. What if it wasn't enough? She caught sight of her parents at the back, their faces a mix of anxiety and hope. It was a reminder that this battle was theirs, too. Their lives were intertwined with the land, and this moment felt like a lifeline for all of them. The mayor counted the hands. The tension stretched, pulling everyone tighter. Finally, he lowered his arm and turned to face the crowd. And those against? Reluctantly, a few hands went up. The sharp contrast stung like ice water in her veins. Even in the warmth of supportive faces, the opposing forces felt mighty. She closed her eyes, imagining her family's laughter blending with the sounds of nature on their farm, the soft clucking of chickens, the rustle of corn in the wind. Lily thought of the memories that had been forged there and how many dreams were woven into the fabric of those fields. By a vote of 87-15, we stand united in protecting Lily's family farm. The mayor raised his hand triumphantly. Cheers erupted. The rush of joy hit Lily like a wave, and tears brimmed in her eyes. She stepped away from the podium, the applause surrounding her, but her heart sank back into worry. They had won this battle, but would it be enough to secure their future? Did anyone realize how deep the current issues ran within her family? A hint of unease crept back into her thoughts. As the crowd began to disperse, excited chatter filled the room. Faces were lit with smiles, but Lily felt the smile on her own face falter. She sought her parents, hoping to share in their victory, but found them in a hushed conversation, the distance palpable. "Mom! Dad!" Lily called, moving towards them. Their expressions shifted, words quieting when they turned to her. She could sense the unspoken tensions that had been rising like steam between them. "Lily," her dad said, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "We did it." But she noticed him look away, the momentary celebration overshadowed. Suddenly, the frenzy of joy granted by the community felt heavy. "Are we really okay?" she asked, her voice a mere whisper. Silence stretched between them, and in that moment, everything felt fragile. Mom directed her gaze outside, as if searching for answers in the golden horizon. "We have to hold on, sweetheart." "For everything," she replied softly, but the uncertainty still lingered in their faces. Lily twisted her hands, her heart pounding. The town had fought for them, but would they be able to fight for each other? Would this victory be what they truly needed, or just a bandage on a much deeper wound? As she stepped away from her parents, uncertainty coiling around her, she overheard the town's veterans making plans for a fundraiser. Maybe this is what they needed, a chance not just to fight for the farm, but for each other. But just as hope flickered, the real estate developer returned, his smug smile as sharp as a knife. "This isn't over," he declared ominously, with determination rising within her. Lily understood that the challenge was just beginning. Facing the shadows that loomed over her family and community would take more than just promises. "Together, we can transform this struggle into strength," she thought. As she took a deep breath, ready to unite her family, she caught sight of her friend, Lucy, looking worried from the crowd. "What's next, Lily?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Lily smiled, feeling fire ignite in her heart. The next step could change everything. With that, she turned toward her family, prepared to bridge the rift, while a new wave of resolve surged through her. Would they find a way to heal? Lily looked at her parents, their faces still shadowed by doubt. She knew this was the moment to break the tension, to find the words that would remind them of what they were really fighting for. "Mom, Dad," she said gently, her voice steadying as she made eye contact with them. "When I stood up there, I felt something I hadn't in a long time: hope. Our community believes in us. They see value in our farm, in our family. We can't let fear divide us now. Her mother's eyes softened, and she placed a reassuring hand on Lily's shoulder. You're right, sweetheart. But, what if it doesn't hold? Lily felt a flicker of frustration. What if it does? We have to lean on each other, like the town is leaning on us. This isn't just about the farm, it's about us. It's about our future. Your passion is inspiring, Lily, her dad replied, the tension in his shoulders easing just a bit. But dreams don't always translate into reality. We're facing a powerful opponent. Lily took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. She remembered the stories the town's elders had shared. Stories of how they rallied together when their school was at risk, how they organized bake sales and car washes to fundraise for the town hall renovations. We've done it before. We can bring the community together again. We just need to show them we're worth fighting for. The spark in her voice was contagious. Her father looked at her with admiration now, while her mother nodded slowly. All right then, her dad said, a smile breaking through. How do we start? Lily's enthusiasm bubbled over. The fundraiser. We can host an event at the farm. Invite everyone, music, food, games. A celebration of everything that means home. She felt an electric charge in the air as her parents leaned in, their worries slowly melting away. This can show everyone how much the farm means to us, her mom added, eyes glinting with excitement. We can paint the barn, invite local musicians. It'll be a festival. Exactly. We can even have a storytelling corner where people share memories of the farm. Invite local businesses to sponsor games. It'll strengthen those bonds even more, Lily exclaimed, her heart racing with each idea that poured out. Just then, Lucy approached, her face brightening with enthusiasm. I overheard you. Can I help? My dad owns the local diner, and I'm sure he'd donate food for the event. Absolutely. Anyone who can contribute. This is about rallying the whole town, Lily said, feeling urgency course through her. Let us meet this week to plan. We need to promote it loud and clear. Lily felt a swell of gratitude as more friends joined them, eager to brainstorm ideas. A sense of unity began to fill the space, overshadowing her earlier doubts. But just as Lily started to believe that bright days awaited them, the developer lingered in the back of her mind. What if this wasn't enough? Would it really sway the hearts of the townspeople? As laughter and chatter enveloped her, a familiar chill touched her spine. The real fight was lurking just around the corner. They wouldn't just need their farm, they'd need each other. Reflecting on her parents' quiet acceptance and Lucy's eagerness brought a warmth to her heart. At that moment, Lily resolved to pour everything she had into this plan. They still had everything to lose. But could they truly unite the town against such a formidable challenge? Would love and hope be enough to withstand the darker forces at play? As the crowd buzzed around her, Lily's heart raced, ready to lead them all in a fight worth winning. She understood then that the real journey was just beginning. The week flew by in a whirlwind of preparations and excitement. Every day after school, Lily and her parents became a blur of activity at the farm. They painted the barn afresh, inviting blue, transforming its weathered look into something vibrant and hopeful. With each stroke of the brush, Lily felt her determination grow stronger. This was more than just a fundraiser, it was a lifeline. The day of the event dawned bright and clear. Sunlight poured over the farm, illuminating the bright colors of the decorations that adorned the yard. Homemade banners fluttered in the gentle breeze, each one displaying heartfelt messages about home and community. Lily's heart swelled as she took it all in. Friends and neighbors began to arrive, their smiles wide and spirits high. Lily! Lucy shouted as she rushed over. Look at all the people. I can't believe they all came. Her enthusiasm was infectious. Exactly. It's incredible. Lily beamed, her excitement mingling with the rhythmic sounds of laughter, chatter, and the distant melody of a local band setting up. As the afternoon progressed, the farm came alive with music and games. Kids giggled as they chased each other around hay bales while adults gathered around to share stories, some about the farm, others about the rich history of their community. The storytelling corner drew a crowd, each tale spoken more passionately than the last. Then, from across the yard, Lily spotted her dad talking to Mr. Collins, the developer. Confusion washed over her. What was he doing here? A rush of anxiety settled in her stomach. She couldn't let him break this moment. "Lucy, I'll be right back," she said quickly, her heart thumping as she hurried toward her father. As she approached, she could hear snippets of their conversation. Mr. Collins appeared calm, but there was an undertone to his voice that made Lily's skin crawl. "Just a business opportunity, you know. It would do wonders for the community, make it more profitable," he said, his smile tight. Lily stepped closer, not wanting to miss a word. "Dad! What is going on?" Her father turned, surprise flickering in his eyes. "Lily, Mr. Collins is just seeing the event. He wanted to observe." Mr. Collins glanced down at her, that same tight smile still on his face. "Lily, you've done a remarkable job here. Very impressive." "Thank you," she replied coolly, her instincts flaring. "But we're not interested in what you have to offer. This farm isn't up for discussion." The air thickened between them. Collins' eyes hardened, and for a moment, Lily feared he would retaliate. But he merely chuckled lightly, masking his irritation with a thin grin. "Of course. Just keep in mind, opportunities come with a price one way or another." Lily's blood ran cold, anger surging in her chest. She needed to refocus on what mattered. "I'm only here to protect what's already ours," she declared, firm in her resolve. As Collins walked away, an uneasy sense settled around her. She returned to the center of the festivities, renewed by the laughter and cheers, but the shadow of Mr. Collins loomed large in her mind. "Lily?" Lucy called out, breaking her thoughts. "What's wrong?" "I'm fine," she said, trying to smile, but the fear gnawed at her. With one eye on the fun unfolding and the other on the looming threat of the developer, she felt the weight of the day settle on her shoulders. Could they swing the hearts of the townspeople to believe in their vision? As dusk began to fall, Lily stood among friends, her heart still racing. The fire pit crackled, casting warm shadows, and she thought of Collins' words. This fight was far from over. But did they truly have the strength to stand up against such a relentless force? Tomorrow would bring new challenges, and she was determined to face them head-on. As the flames danced before her, one question burned in her mind: could love and determination really outshine greed and power? As the sun dipped below the horizon, turning the sky into a canvas of orange and pink, Lily couldn't shake off the tension in her gut. She scanned the crowd, watching as families and friends mingled, unaware of the storm brewing behind the scenes. The laughter, the excitement of the day edged closer to her heart, but it was hard to truly enjoy it with Mr. Collins' words echoing in her mind. "Lily!" shouted a voice, pulling her from her thoughts. It was her mom, waving her over excitedly. "Come help us with the bake sale." With a deep breath, Lily moved toward the table. The smell of freshly baked goods wrapped around her like a warm hug. Her mother had outdone herself, and the beautifully arranged treats made Lily's heart swell with pride. Each pie, each cookie, was a labor of love. "Thanks for the help," her mom said, giving her a quick squeeze. "You can go back to enjoying the festivities once we're set." "Sure thing," Lily replied, arranging brownies and muffins, but her mind wasn't on the treats. As the line of eager buyers grew, she noticed people from all corners of the community chatting and enjoying the evening. It struck her just how much love was present in that moment, and a spark of hope flickered within her. They were here for the same reason, they all believed in the farm, in the roots of their community. But then, she saw him. Mr. Collins was talking to a small group of people. The ease with which he moved among them made her blood run cold. Was he trying to sway them? She leaned closer, trying to catch snippets of their conversation. "It's time for change, don't you think?" Collins said, his voice smooth like silk. "The future is about progress, about what's to come. Why cling to the past?" Lily's fists clenched, and she felt a fire ignite inside her. This was not just her fight anymore, it was everyone's. They were all sitting on a treasure that Collins wanted to rob from them. "Lily? You okay?" Lucy asked, reappearing at her side, a slice of pie in hand. "I need to do something," Lily replied, her heart racing. "I can't let him talk them into this." "You want me to come with you?" Lucy offered, ever the loyal friend. "No," Lily shook her head. "I have to stand up for what we believe in." Summoning her courage, she stepped away from the table. The crowd thinned a little as she walked toward Collins and the group. She could feel her heart pounding fiercely, but doubt crept in. What if they turned on her? What if no one listened? But when she saw that line of faces, familiar friends and neighbors, something shifted inside her. They had invested their time, their love into this farm. It was time for her to show them the weight of their collective dreams. "Excuse me." Lily's voice rang out, louder than she anticipated. Heads turned, and a hush fell over the crowd. Mr. Collins smirked, but she held his gaze, her voice steady. "I just want to remind everyone what this farm means to us. It's our history, our lives. Every inch of this land tells our story. We cannot overlook that for the sake of profit." As she spoke, she saw a few people nodding. Encouragement grew around her, fueling her words. "Let us show Mr. Collins how much we care about our community. This isn't just a fundraiser, it's our future." The faces surrounding her lit up, and Lily felt a wave of support wash over her. But before she could bask in their encouragement, Collins stepped forward. "Ah, but my dear Lily, do you really think nostalgia can fend off the inevitable change? The world is moving on, and you must choose to move with it." Lily's heart raced as she braced herself for whatever he would say next, her thoughts racing. Was she strong enough to expose the darkness that lay beneath his charm? What was Collins's plan, and could they still believe in a future united? The tension in the air was palpable as she faced the crowd, ready for the battle that was about to unfold. "Lily," Collins said, tilting his head slightly, his smile disarming yet condescending. "Do you really believe your sentimental attachments can outweigh the needs of progress? With all due respect, we need to look toward the future. This farm is just soil and seeds, nothing more." Lily could feel the heat rising in her cheeks. His words were sharp, aimed to cut through the sentiment of the moment like a knife. But behind her, she sensed the crowd shifting uneasily. The murmurs of doubt and uncertainty began to ripple through the onlookers, and she knew she needed to act fast. "Mr. Collins," Lily said, her voice gaining strength, "this land is not just dirt, it's part of who we are. Our laughs, our tears, all of our memories are rooted in it. You mustn't see it as mere profit, see it for the community it has created. See us." As she spoke, she gestured toward the families in the crowd, mothers holding their children, elderly men reminiscing about their younger years spent working the fields, teenagers dancing, all interwoven by the threads of love and tradition. "Think about what this place means," she continued, her heart racing. "What happens if we lose all of this? Will we find that deep sense of belonging and comfort somewhere else?" The weight of her words hung in the air. She caught glimpses of nods. It was as if a spark had ignited in the crowd. Mr. Collins raised an eyebrow, clearly annoyed but trying to maintain his poise. "Change brings opportunity. Would you rather cling to your memories and watch the community fade away?" The tension crackled between them as Lily spoke again, fear mingling with determination. "Opportunity for whom? For you to line your pockets while we lose the core of who we are?" This isn't just about profit, this is our way of life. We're not just going to roll over and let that happen. Finally, murmurs of agreement rose within the crowd. She felt stronger, buoyed by the shared resolve that swirled among them. This battle was no longer just her own, it was theirs, too. Collins frowned, his charm cracking. Charming as your words may be, nostalgia won't pay the bills. I have investors waiting to change this land into something that will benefit us all. Investors? Lily echoed, her voice filled with disbelief. So, you're willing to sacrifice everything for a quick buck? What legacy will that leave for our children? Is that what you call progress? Don't be naive, he snapped, his voice rising. We don't have the luxury of sentimentality. Growth requires tough choices. If there is one thing I know, it's that families can thrive on memories, not money, she shot back, feeling her heart pounding in her chest. And I believe they'll choose a future that holds on to those memories instead of discarding them. The crowd surged around her, chanting their agreement. They stood together now, united under one purpose. But before she could relax, Collins took a deep breath, his eyes narrowing. You've stirred the pot, Lily. But stirring isn't enough if you don't have the backing to keep it boiling. Make no mistake, this isn't over. With that, he turned his back on the crowd, leaving a bitter tension in the air, but the energy of resolve continued to pulse through Lily's body. As she faced her neighbors, they were no longer just faces in the crowd, they were family, and a new determination filled her. We can't back down now, she declared. We've got to show all of them that this land belongs to us. Just then, a young girl near the front stepped forward, her eyes wide with hope. What do we do next? Lily's mind raced. The battle had only just begun, but they needed a strategy, something tangible. They couldn't let this momentum go to waste. Let us form a plan, she said, feeling the strength of the community swelling around her. We can rally together, create a petition, and share our stories about what the farm truly means. We'll show everyone that this is worth fighting for. And as the first glimmers of stars appeared in the sky overhead, she knew they were taking their first steps into a fight that would change everything. But as she surveyed the determined faces surrounding her, she couldn't shake the feeling that their actions had just set something monumental into motion. What would be the consequences of stirring such a passionate force? Would they truly be able to stand against Mr. Collins and his ruthless plans? The night was just beginning, and so was their journey into the unknown. Lily's heart raced as she looked around at the people gathered. Their faces were filled with determination, a reflection of her own resolve. She could see the fear in some eyes, but hope was slowly breaking through that fear like dawn following a long night. The young girl who had asked what they should do next stood at the forefront, her little fists clenched, ready to fight alongside the adults. Who wants to help me write the petition? Lily called out, her voice full of energy. A chorus of hands shot up, mothers, fathers, and even the elderly men who once ran the tractors gathered around her, all eager to be part of the movement. They formed a huddle, brainstorming ideas amid the gentle rustle of leaves. Someone suggested including stories about the farm, remembering how every season brought its own treasures. Another person proposed gathering photographs from different generations to display alongside the petition. The excitement built, knitting them closer together. Let us call it our farm, our future. A voice shouted from the back, igniting a spark that spread through the crowd. Lily felt buoyed by their enthusiasm. They weren't just fighting for land, they were standing up for their memories, their history, their future. This wasn't simply about keeping the farm intact, it was about preserving their way of life, their community, their stories. As she took center stage once more, the chatter became a low hum, and she cleared her throat. Everyone, I need your stories. We need to show Collins and the world what this land means to us. They nodded, their faces resolved, and soon Lily found herself sitting in the grass with the girl who had first asked what to do. An idea was forming, a collection of the farm's stories written down, each person sharing a piece of their heart. That evening, they sat together beneath the starlit sky. One by one, they shared anecdotes filled with laughter and tears. There were tales of the first harvest, of weddings held under the great oak tree, and of children playing hide-and-seek in the tall grass. Every story added another layer to the tapestry of their lives, creating a space where Lily no longer felt alone in her fight. While they talked, a warmth spread through her, a fire of unity igniting in their hearts. Suddenly, the young girl spoke up again, her innocence shining through the seriousness of the occasion. "What if Mr. Collins has a story too?" she said, her serious face causing some of the crowd to chuckle lightly. "Maybe he just needs to know." Those simple words struck a chord within Lily. Was it possible that Collins only saw the land as numbers on a spreadsheet, devoid of its history? What if they could make him understand that its value lay in the bonds people formed around it? Her mind spun with possibilities. "Maybe we should try to meet him," she suggested, not entirely convinced but hopeful. "If we can invite him here, share our stories, maybe he'll see." Before she could finish, scattered voices erupted. "Are you crazy? He doesn't care. Why would he even listen?" The doubt hung heavy in the air, but Lily could see flickers of excitement in some eyes, too. Perhaps there was a chance they could awaken something in Collins, a buried understanding of community, something money could never replace. "Let us speak from the heart," Lily said, her voice firm. "Let us show him what it means to us, what it means to be a part of something bigger. We've got our memories, and we've got this moment now. Together, we can make a difference." As the night deepened, they committed to moving forward, making a plan to gather their stories and, if they dared, to reach out to Collins once again. But a nagging sensation lingered within Lily. What if this attempt failed? What if he still insisted on bulldozing through their lives? The uncertainty shadowed her enthusiasm, but the fire of hope burned brighter. Would their determination be enough to penetrate the wall of his indifference? Would they find a way to reach him before it was too late? The stakes were high, and time was not on their side as the shadows stretched long and dark across the land. The sun peeked over the horizon, casting a warm glow across the fields. Lily woke with a start, her heart still racing from the previous night's gathering. She could hear birds chirping outside, their melodies a sweet reminder of hope. Today was the day they would start the petition. She rushed to dress, her mind buzzing with the stories they had shared under the stars. Each one, a thread connecting them all. At breakfast, her father looked up from his coffee, concern etched across his face. "You really think talking to Collins will change anything?" he asked. His hands, calloused from years of work, wrapped around the warm mug. "We have to try, Dad," Lily replied, her tone firm but soft. "It's not just about the farm, it's about us. About our community." Her father nodded, but she could see the worry lingering in his eyes. She finished her breakfast and headed outside, where the chill of early morning greeted her. The town square hummed with life as people set up booths, preparing for the weekend market. Gathering her courage, Lily walked to the center of town, where her friends and neighbors had promised to meet. The energy was palpable. People chatted excitedly, holding signs and photographs, each one a testament to their shared history. Lily felt the rush of adrenaline build again, a wave of determination surging within her. "Okay, everyone," she called out, lifting her hands to gather attention. "Today we're going to start collecting stories and signing our petition. Let us show Mr. Collins that we're serious." The crowd erupted in cheers, and the little girl from the previous night bounced on her toes. "Can I start?" she asked eagerly. "Absolutely." Lily smiled, gesturing for her to step forward. As the girl stood up, her cheeks flushed with excitement, she began recounting her favorite memory, the day they all planted the sunflowers together. Her innocence and passion captivated the crowd, each person holding their breath as they listened. Lily felt the tears welling in her eyes. Every shared memory sparkled like the dew on grass, each one adding weight to their cause. As they collected stories, tears were exchanged along with laughter. One by one, they came forward, bringing their lives and love for the land to the forefront. After an hour, they had a pile of heartfelt memories and enough signatures to fill a sheet. Lily felt a thrill, but the reality of Collins still loomed heavily in the back of her mind. They had done the work, but would it be enough? As the sun crested higher in the sky, Lily spotted a familiar figure in the distance. It was Mr. Collins himself. He walked confidently toward the crowd, wearing a crisp suit that felt out of place among them. Some of the people froze, uncertainty clouding their expressions. "What is he doing here?" someone whispered, and an uneasy silence swept across the group. Lily's heart pounded. This was it. The moment she had both hoped for and feared. As he approached, she stepped forward, gathering every ounce of courage. Would he listen? Would he care? "Mr. Collins." She called out, her voice steady despite the chaos of emotions inside her. He paused, looking at her with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. "What's all this about, Lily?" "We want to share our stories," she replied, "to show you why this land matters to us." He raised an eyebrow, a flicker of intrigue crossing his face. "Stories?" "Yes," she pressed on, emboldened. "They're not just memories, they're our lives." For a brief moment, hope flickered in her chest. Could she reach him? Could her words burrow deep enough to crack through the tough exterior he wore? But then she noticed a smirk creeping at the corners of his mouth, sending a chill right through her. She wondered if he would laugh them off, as so many had assumed he would. Could she convince him to understand? Or was this just another failure waiting to happen? Lily held her breath, and the crowd waited with her, their collective heartbeats sync to the moment's tension. What would he say next? Mr. Collins studied the faces in the crowd, his eyes flickering from one person to the next. Lily felt a wave of vulnerability wash over her. Would he see the passion in their eyes? Would he hear their collective heartache and hope? "Well," he finally said, his voice smooth but dripping with skepticism. "You lot certainly seem to have a lot of feelings about this land." Lily clenched her fists, fighting back frustration. "It's more than feelings, Mr. Collins. It's our history. It's our future." Her voice broke slightly, making her sound more earnest than she intended. "Can't you see how much we cherish this place?" A murmur traveled through the crowd, a mix of support and apprehension. Collins rubbed his chin, pretending to think. "And what do you expect me to do about it?" He glanced at the petition papers. "Should I take these stories to heart and change my plans?" The disbelief in his tone stung. Lily stepped closer, fueled by the fervor of their shared memories. "Yes. If you just listened, maybe you'd understand why we won't give up without a fight." The crowd began murmuring, voices rising in support. "Let us stand together," shouted a farmer with years of toil etched into his brow. "Yeah. Our families built this town," another voice echoed. Just then, a mother with a baby in her arms stepped forward, her eyes shining with defiance. "When my little one grows old enough, I want to tell him about the times we held community dinners in the fields, about how we supported each other during the tough harvests and how we laughed during the festivals," another neighbor chimed in, nodding fiercely. Lily felt the momentum shifting. Colin's expression was unreadable now, though the smirk had vanished. The community's passion swirled like autumn leaves in a gust of wind, compelling, relentless. "Do you really think your stories can convince me not to develop this property?" he asked coolly, almost genuinely interested, as if he was trying to understand who they were beyond their protest. Lily's heart raced. This was a crack, a tiny opening she needed to pry wider. "They aren't just stories. They are the essence of who we are. This place is not just land, it's our home. The place where we've laughed, cried, and grown. If you take that away, you take away our heart." An undeniable silence fell, thick and heavy, as the sincerity of her words settled over them all. Collins seemed to wrestle with the moment, looking from Lily to the crowd, weighing options that were no longer merely black and white. "Lily," he began, but before he could finish, a voice called out. "Why don't you come to the community center this evening? We're having a gathering. You could see what we're about." Excitement surged through the crowd at the suggestion, whispers buzzing like bees. Lily's heart swelled. It was a chance to show him the very heartbeat of their town, the warmth, the laughter, their unity. Collins hesitated, clearly torn. "I'll think about it," he finally replied, his voice softer than before, almost uncertain. "Is that all we get?" Someone shouted in the back. "We're serious about this." He took a deep breath, glancing at the petition once more. "I can't make promises, but what?" Lily urged, stepping even closer. Hope had ignited a flame inside her. The corner of Colin's mouth twitched again. "I guess I'm curious after all. But understand, my willingness has limits." As he turned to leave, the tension in the crowd surged with both anxiety and excitement, a fragile thread developing between them and Mr. Collins. "What if we open our arms and show him the love we have for this place?" Someone whispered beside her. Lily nodded vigorously. Tonight would be pivotal, a moment that could change everything. But would Collins truly open his heart, or was this merely another fleeting moment of curiosity? With resolve building in her chest, she whispered to herself, "We'll show him who we really are." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the town, she knew they had taken the first step. But what awaited them in the community center loomed like a storm cloud on the horizon. Would they get the chance to change his mind? Only time would tell. The sun set over Maple Grove, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, as excitement electrified the air. Tonight was the night. Lily gathered with her family and friends outside the community center, the warm glow of lights spilling through the welcome doors. A mix of nervousness and hope danced within her. "Do you think he'll come?" murmured Lucy, anxiously tugging on her sleeve. "He has to," Lily replied, determination coursing through her veins. "This is about more than just us. It's about everyone." As people trickled in, the faint sound of music filled the space, mingling with laughter and chatter. The crowd buzzed with anticipation, everyone ready to show Mr. Collins the heart of Maple Grove. In moments, the room swelled with familiar faces, neighbors and friends, all united by a purpose greater than themselves. When Collins finally walked through the door, a hush swept the room. Dressed sharply, he looked like a stranger in their midst. But tonight wasn't he about the distance his suit represented, tonight was about bridging the gap. "Thank you all for being here," Lily called out, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. "This evening isn't just about my family's farm, it's about our community as a whole." The crowd responded with a wave of encouragement. Lily could feel their warmth enveloping her. As she invited others to share, a farmer stepped forward, his worn hands visibly trembling. "This land is more than just soil," he said, voice thick with emotion. "It's where our families have sown their dreams, rooted in love and history. We cannot let it slip away." Mr. Collins nodded, a flicker of empathy showing in his eyes. The stories poured forth, vivid tales of laughter and joy, hardship and triumph. A woman recounted how they all banded together during storms, saving one another's crops, and another man shared precious memories of teaching his children to ride bikes down those dusty paths. Each story resonated, weaving a tapestry of their connectedness. Lily's heart soared as she noticed the growing interest in Collins's eyes. Was he beginning to see? But the real turning point came when an elderly man approached the podium, his voice trembling. "I've lived here for over 60 years. I've seen this town bloom. If we lose this land, we lose what built us. We lose our legacy." An echo of silence engulfed the room, and Collins shifted uneasily. He glanced around at the faces hopeful, yet fighting back tears. The contrast of his cold, corporate demeanor against the warmth of community hung heavy in the air. Finally, Lily stepped forward, her heart pounding. "Mr. Collins," she said, her voice firm but filled with emotion, "what do you believe is worth fighting for? Profit? Or family? This land is where we built our roots, and it's what we want for our children. And that's worth protecting." The room held its breath as Collins met her gaze, a flicker of vulnerability passing between them. He started, the steely tone flickering. "I see your passion. But, this is just a business decision for me." "No," Lily pushed gently, "this is personal for all of us. We want you to know us. Will you stand with us?" He hesitated, the weight of the moment sinking in. "I need to think," Collins said, but something softer lingered in his voice. The energy in the room shifted, a wave of hope surging forward. They had planted seeds of understanding, watering them with sincerity. As the night wore on, the laughter echoed through the hall, overshadowing lingering doubts. Lily felt light, buoyed by their camaraderie. Then, Mr. Collins surprised everyone with a proposal. "How about we arrange a tour of the farm next week? You can show me what truly matters here." Gasps erupted as people exchanged glances, some with widened eyes, others with cautious smiles. "We'd love that," Lily beamed, meeting his gaze steadily. In that moment, a connection sparked, fragile yet alive. By the end of the night, as everyone began to disperse, Lily felt the warmth enveloping her like a warm blanket. The sense of community had transformed into a living, breathing entity. Something tangible. As she stepped outside, Lucy and her parents joined her, pride glittering in their eyes. "You did it, Lily!" her mom exclaimed, wrapping an arm around her. "You made him listen. We can show him what we stand for," Lily said, exhilaration surging through her. "Together, we'll protect our home." But as they stood there, a shadow of doubt crossed her mind. What if the next step didn't go as planned? She squashed the thought. This was a new beginning, a chance for redemption, healing, and uniting the community, and so, they would keep fighting, hand in hand, heart to heart. The stakes were high, but love was fierce, and for Lily and the town, that was a journey worth taking. The transformation had begun not just for the farm, but for all of them. The seed of hope had been planted, and together, they would nurture it. Now, as we celebrate the power of unity and resilience, you need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next incredible story of transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that like button now. Comment below your favorite moment from tonight's journey and how it made you feel. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness the strength of community. Your support feeds the heart of our story, and only true fans understand the importance of standing together in this beautiful journey.